Hi there, it's Anne of Rosie Duck Designs here. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. So I'm back just to share with you how I made the embellishment that I used on the box in my previous video. Now, as I said, that started life as one of our Vellum Doilies, which are very pretty in their own right, working with a background on a card. But you can step them up a little bit by adding some heating embossing powder to them and heating them up. It's a little bit of a long drawn out process, which is why I didn't want to include it in the actual video, because if it's something you're interested in, then obviously here you are watching this, but it was quite a long element to put in if people weren't particularly interested in it. So hence the standalone video for this. So to get from this to this is what we do. It's very simple. It's just takes a little bit of time. So I've got my E-block here, which nicely covers my doily. Now there are two sides to this. It's slightly more raised on the front there, so make sure you get the right side. And all I'm going to do is put a tiny bit of adhesive on the middle bit there. I don't want to stick this down, but I do need a surface that I can apply my Versamark to my doily. So my first job is to take my Versamark and make sure that I cover my doily. It's always slightly worrying when I see a cat out of the corner of my eye when I'm about to have embossing powder all over the place. So perhaps you could do your directing from down there, could you, Ollie? I'd appreciate that. I'm not going to use the block to add my powder, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the doily from the block and lay it on my piece of paper. Now, some of the Versamark I will have removed by actually using those tweezers. But the point is, I'm going to be grabbing hold of this in various places as we work through this. So just because I've removed a bit off of here, I won't go there next time. I'll use another area. So as bearing in mind we're putting 6 layers on this, then it really isn't going to be a problem. And again, we need to be able to get the doily off without ripping it. So as I say, it's a tiny bit of adhesive there to keep it in place while we put the Versamark on it. So we get our gold embossing powder and we're literally just going to put that over the entire surface of our doily. Now again, using my tweezers, I'm just going to pick up one edge and over this piece of spare paper that I've got, I'm just going to take that off and I'm going to lay that down on my grid paper. And this is why it takes the time, because each time you're going to have to do what I've just done and then put your powder back in and get that out of the way of your heat tool, because otherwise you'll have a gold snow effect going on in your house. Now we have brilliant sunshine. Let me just check that. Yes, that doesn't look too bad. And there's probably going to be some shadows and what have you, but I'm just hoping you get the general gist of this. Now again, heat tools are like hair dryers. They can be very get very hot, and especially the more we're using this, it will get hotter and hotter. So again, use tweezers, not your fingers, and just hold that steady. And you'll see that it takes, as it's heating up, you can see the change there from the powdered surface to more like a metallic surface. Now you could just stick with that if you wanted to, but I'm trying to build it up to make it look more like a metal embellishment. So I'm just letting it cool slightly, and then I need to get my block back again. And again, just put it down gently in the middle there. And we're going to apply our Versamark again. Removing our doily from the block onto our paper, and again we're going to cover it with the gold embossing powder. So as I say, the fact that you're having to take hold of the doily in one area with your tweezers, as long as you don't use the same area the whole time, it isn't going to matter that one area's got 5 layers on and another layer's got 6. It's really not going to make a difference. So again, we're going to put our powder back in. When you're watching this, do feel free to fast forward the video. I certainly wouldn't blame you. Sounds like a plan to me. There you go. As you're doing it, just do check that every element of the doily has actually taken the heat embossing powder. So there was a little bit there that I could see hadn't actually been heated up. You'll find as your tool gets hotter, then it will take it a lot less time as between layers. So again, we just want to make sure that that is reasonably cool. Picking it up again, and we're going to put it back on our block. Versamark again. Move it off the block. And here we go again. Now I am being over generous with the powder, but I just want to make sure that everything is covered. And then we're just picking it up, shaking it off onto our grid paper. And as I say, it's entirely up to you. The one I used on my box, I did that 6 times. This is our 3rd attempt, and this may be more than enough for what you're looking for. It goes a deeper gold the more you put on. Myself worried there. I turned that off by mistake. I suddenly thought my my heat tool had given up. The other reason I put so many layers on was that it is a doily at the end of the day. It's made of vellum, and the more you put on, the more sturdy it becomes. But actually, that's not looking bad at all. I'll go with another layer. I don't want this to become the most boring video ever. But I'm hoping this is giving you an idea, and also you may be noticing that the more I'm doing this, the more curved up this is becoming because of the heat. So we're going to just touch on what we can do about that, because that is not a good look when you try and put that on a card or a box. I nearly did it wrong there, didn't I? There you go. Scrap paper. It wouldn't be one of my videos, would it, if it didn't have outtakes. Only problem is I don't have the technology to outtake the outtakes. There you go. It's real life, and it's kind of what happens to us all when we craft. I'm just going to heat this up again. And for the sake of the video, I don't think I'm going to go on and do 6 because I'm sure you've now all got the hang of it. But this one I did 6 layers on, but it's already getting that really nice feel of having that depth to it and weight to it. It's not curled too badly, this one. I think you can probably, I don't know if you can see, it's slightly more gold. This has gone darker gold because it's got more layers on it, but it really doesn't matter at all. But as I say, it is curling up with the heat, and all I did with that was I literally put it at the back of my grid paper, and I put a book, a weight on that, just for probably about I don't know, I probably left it overnight if I'm honest, but I don't think it needs that long. But all I would say is make sure it's nice and flat before you start using it on your projects. Now obviously you could use that with any embossing powder, any colour. You could do a silver one, even a white one would look really pretty against maybe a darker background. So I hope that has been of some help and giving you an idea of how you can step up the Vellum Doilies. But as I say, they do work very, very well just on their own. But it's just nice to sort of make something that's a little bit unique that you've actually made. So I will leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, and if you would like to subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate that. It just encourages me that people are out there and hopefully enjoying my videos, so that would be great if you'd like to do that. My normal links will be on the front of the video, and I will be back very soon to share with you a final idea from the paper pumpkin kit, and that is how I've used one of the elements to make a card. But until then, do look after yourselves, take care, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now.